If an upline, downline, sideline, or your mama sent you this podcast, be glad that that person is in your life. This is Dale Calvert. I'd like to welcome you to this session of the MLM Success Podcast. Please don't make the mistake of thinking that this is a Christmas message. For many of you, I believe this will be the most important podcast session you ever hear. We're going to really get down to where the rubber hits the road this week and take on a topic that many people talk about, but very few know how to conquer. I believe it is the most important hurdle in a network marketer's career. Not jumping it is not an option if you expect to achieve your full upside potential with the network marketing business model.
Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM Prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small-town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
For some of you, this is going to be the session, guys. This is going to be the one. I so appreciate this message from Curry. Some trainings just need to be preserved, and this is certainly one of those. So I wanted to include it in this week's podcast session for you guys. Please understand, as I said in the introduction, this is not a Christmas training. This is a training for you today, no matter when you're listening. It is really time for many of you to fix your brain once and for all. Listen to Curry, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Good morning, guys. My name is Curry Russell. Welcome to the Cafe Call, and I am absolutely excited that Kelly has asked me to do these on Thursdays. So until I guess I'm fired, you guys got me. So I've had a couple conversations with people over the last 24 hours, and one of those conversations revolves around gaining knowledge. A lot of people are trying to take this time to go through the units and dig into becoming more knowledgeable and watching all the videos and trying to get as much information as they can. Now, I'm going to start this conversation off with I understand. I understand the need to feel like you need to know everything. Like if somebody asks you a question, you don't want to feel stupid. You don't want to feel like you've got it, like you don't know anything. I get that, and I understand the feeling. But what too many people are failing to do is have a person for a three-way call. There's not enough three-way calls going on inside this team. There's not enough edification being taught. There's not enough accountability with team members. There's not enough people going out in twos. See, a lot of this, if you've paid attention to me at all, I relate most of my network marketing build to my faith. And what I saw the very first time I went to a network marketing event was how similar network marketing is to discipleship. And if you're not in the same faith that I am, that's okay. I'm not trying to push that on you. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to talk about it, but I am going to talk about the structure. When that particular leader in that faith that I'm talking about, when he sent out his disciples, he sent them out in twos. So there was some accountability so that they could help each other, so they could bounce ideas off each other, so they could run together. Ask yourself right now, who am I running with? Who's my running buddy? Who's the person pushing me every single day? Who am I on the phone with every single day in this business, talking about who we're going to talk to next, talking about how many people we're going to talk to, challenging each other, setting goals, setting punishment. literally punishment if you don't hit your goals that you've set with your accountability partner. Why are you not running with somebody in this business? You need someone pushing you every single day. You need somebody that you wake up and you've called on the phone, that you're meeting for lunch on Tuesdays, or you're setting up a time where you can go over your week and say, look, here's my accountability tracker. Here's the numbers that I've put in this week. Here's the people that I've shown. Here's the people that told me no. Here's the people that ignored me. I've got a list of all the people that I've prospected this week. Guys, that particular leader sent them out 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. I'm telling you, guys, it's all related. And in network marketing, you don't need to know anything. What you need to have is somebody that you can get on a 3-way call that helps you close people. So my challenge to you in the next 30 days, number 1, get an accountability partner. Find somebody in this team that is at your level or higher or wherever you're at. I don't care who it is. Find somebody who's absolutely running with you, somebody that you can plug in with, on your team, not on your team. It doesn't matter. Say, listen, I need to lock arms with somebody. Would you be available for a daily call for 5-10 minutes just to touch base, say hi, give me some encouragement, so we can encourage each other? Find somebody to run with. For the next 90 days, have ignorance on fire. Let go of all the knowledge of all the drops, the flavors, the ingredients. Here's what they're going to do. Here's what they're not going to do. Here's the pretty box. All this nonsense. Focus entirely on the one income-producing activity there is, invitation. I made this post earlier in the team page, and this is why I think this call is going to be incredibly short. So many people need to stop trying to know stuff. Stop being green. When I met Big Al, Tom Schreider, when I met him for the very first time at an event, I walked up to him and told him that because he's a master of the color personalities. He's written the color personality book. I told him that I had acknowledged to myself that I had killed my green side. When I was introduced to a company a few years ago, I sat in a hotel room, and the day that I saw that idea, I said out loud, I'm killing my green side. My green side has slowed me down in my business for years. My green side says, hey, I've got to know about the compensation plan. I've got to know about the details. I got to know about how to build this business. I got to know about all the stoppage. I got to know about all the products and services, and are there really a savings, and blah, blah, blah. I thought that I had to know all that crap, and it was slowing me down, because the one thing that's going to make you money is inviting. The one thing in this business that's going to make you money is invitation. So I'm challenging you, find that accountability partner and focus for 90 days on nothing but inviting. Inviting. Put your head down, focus only on that for 90 days. You come up from air after 90 days, you can take a break, watch all the videos that have been put in the back office. You can see what's happening. But for 90 days, guys, what could 2022 look like if for 90 days you was enrolling 3 to 5 people a month, maybe 10 to 15 a month? If you were inviting 50 people to watch your 3-minute video, your 13-minute video, a webinar replay, or inviting them to the nightly webinars that are going on, if you focus entirely on inviting for the next 90 days, if you feel yourself asking a question like, well, I don't know this, or I don't understand this, you need to stop yourself right then and go, is having this information going to put more money in my bank account? Is having any of this knowledge going to make me a dime? And the answer is always going to be no. No extra knowledge will make you more money. I promise you already have all the information you need. You have all the resources you need. All you have to do is get out of your own way for the next 90 days and just drive scripts. Message somebody, say, listen, I'm so excited about this. I've got to show it to you. Are you available for a 3-minute video? Hey, I'm so excited. I've got something that's just changing my whole life. Are you available to watch a 13-minute video? Hey, are you available at 8 p.m. to see something we're really excited about? I could go on and on and on with simple ways to just say, hey, I've got something you've got to see. Holy crap, I'm so excited. You've got to see this. Guys, these are messages that truly do work, and all you have to do is just go send them to people on text, send them to Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, whatever way. Join every social media thing. Contact as many people in your target market as fast as possible. I don't know if you can hear how excited I am right now, but 2021 is going to set you up for the rest of your entire life and I wish that I could just let you see how big that I'm making my arm movements with the word if. It's such a tiny 2-letter word, but it has the biggest impact if you take action, if you keep your head down, if you stay away from trying to get knowledge, if you just focus on doing the one thing. If. Guys, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. But you have to get out of your own stinking way, get away from all your fears, get away from everything other than doing the one thing with absolute no concern of the outcome. You cannot be worried about the outcome, whether somebody's going to say yes, whether they're going to say no, whether they're going to cuss you out, whether they're going to unfriend you, whether they're going to report you for whatever it is that they think you're doing. You have to only be concerned with literally inviting. Imagine yourself sitting on a busy street and you have massive amounts of cans of food and there's homeless people out there. Are you going to worry what a homeless person is going to say if you walk up to them and hand them a can of food or a box of food or whatever? You're not. You're going to feel good about just presenting them with the thing. You have to get to that point in your life where you believe everybody needs what you have and realize not everybody wants what you have, and that's totally awesome. It's okay for them not to want it, but you've got something they need, and it's up to you to literally get off your butt, get out of your own head, stop making excuses about anything, and just do the one thing that's going to make you more money. So, guys, I'm Curry Russell. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to 2021. I'll be the first one to tell you Happy New Year's. Guys, let's go rock and roll and change this whole world and change your whole life and your legacy for your family. Have a great time. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you'll stay with me because I'm going to be hopping around all over the place with the hopes that many of you will come to the obvious conclusion that right now is the time to fix your brain and take advantage of a very unique opportunity available to some of you that won't cost you a penny. At this point, most of you that have listened to this podcast for years, you should have the concept of the 4 beliefs in your mind and really from your head to your heart, that you must have belief in the company, the product, the network marketing business model, and yourself. Many of you should be able to teach this, the concept of being value focused that I talk about a lot, that, you should be able to teach that, many of you, better than I can because you've heard it so much, especially those of you that have been following me over the years. All individuals, we have a primary focus. It's either survival focus, we're worrying about the electric bill next month, money focus, we have a little bit of greed, where we're focused on money and how much money we can make, or we're value focused. And those that are value focused understand that your long-term income is in direct proportion to the value that you provide to the market that you serve. And I'm not going to get into depth in this session. I have in previous, but every single person listening to me, you have a money mindset right now. And I hope that you know where your money mindset is. Most are in a state, honestly, they're listening to me, you're in a state of comfort, which honestly is the most dangerous mindset state to be in. And, I get into all that in great detail in the book that we wrote, Change Your Financial Mindset and Create Wealth. If you don't have that book, you really should read it. It's also on Audible. I think I had the description here. This is the description that we wrote when we wrote this book. And this is a real important philosophy for those that are in tune with, build yourself first, build people build the business, a lot of things that we talk about. But this was the description. We live in the greatest wealth-generating free enterprise system the world's ever known. And when most people die, they have a negative net worth and don't even have enough money to pay for their own funerals. Something is wrong. What is it? If the real problem was not having enough money, then why do 1/3 of the lottery winners file bankruptcy within 5 years? The problem is mindset. The reason most people never create any type of financial security is because they never planned on doing so. In his latest audio book, Change Your Financial Mindset and Create Wealth, Self-Made Millionaire Dale Calvert will share with you the step-by-step formula he has taught to people all over the world to help them expect financial security, work towards it, and obtain it. So, here's really the rub when it comes to all this, guys. And again, referring back to what Curry had to say, I love it when he just cut loose and told it like it is. But here's the rub, and I hope you hear this in the spirit in which it's intended. You guys have heard me use that phrase a lot. I hope you hear this in the spirit in which it's intended. And the rub is when you are truly value focused and you go into the marketplace with your gift, as Curry called it, and people think, you're trying to give them a gift, and they think, well, they're trying to talk me into something. They're trying to get me to buy, sell, or join something, and they don't accept your gift. And you really have the mindset of this is a gift, and you're very value focused. It really becomes non-congruent in any normal person's mind. When you get that type of response, it's like, can you imagine giving someone a birthday gift and they would treat you with the response like we will get without question when we're building our network marketing team? It's not congruent. Even if people hate the birthday gift that they gave you, they'll act like they like it. They act like they appreciate it. They don't do that in network marketing. When you go into the marketplace, that's not very common, even though you are coming from a very value-focused, heartfelt standpoint, and you sincerely are, and you must be sincerely feeling that way. And again, we're not going to rehash all the reasons why here, but you have to be in a value-focused state of mind, not in a, you don't go at people with dollar signs in your eyes. How much am I going to make if they join at this level or whatever? You have to sincerely be value-focused and understand that you sincerely have a potentially life-altering gift that you're offering people through your product and or your opportunity. And if you go into the marketplace with that spirit, that feeling, that belief, and then you get reactions like you would not normally get when you're in the marketplace with those type of feelings, it's real non-congruent. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense. And it can play with our minds. So I'm trying to help, and you think, well, I'm trying to help, and they think I'm trying to get them to join something or buy something for me. And understand, this is real important. People see things not as they are, but they see things as they are as humans. So if someone was in your shoes and they go in the marketplace and they would try to convince people and twist their arms and use closing techniques that their network marketing guru has taught them, and would be their approach, that they're trying to convince people through closing techniques or whatever, then they think that's where you're coming from. They think that's the mindset, the place that you're coming from. And, it just kind of is what it is, but it's a mind tweak that you have to really wrap your brain around and understand what's going on when you're in the marketplace and you're trying to provide value for other people and they're not accepting your gift. Gurus talk about, you hear this all the time, all the self-proclaimed gurus all over the internet dealing with network marketing, talking about, they got tired of trying to convince their family and friends and people they met at the bookstore or the gas station to join their business. And every time you hear that, it should be an indication that who's ever saying that does not have a clue how to recruit. Because they were going into it's just an indication they were going into the marketplace with dollar signs in their eyes. That's an indication that that's what they were doing. See, if you're really going into the marketplace being value focused and you present the opportunity, honestly, in my mind, where I'm come from today and really always have at some level is I know what I got. I know what I've got. And if you don't see it and you're not smart enough to understand it or the timing's not right in your life, that's all fine. Because if you do like what you see, I have to figure out, are you somebody that I want to spend any time, energy, and effort with? Because I've got to be very selective, as you should be. So I tell my granddaughter, when you walk up to the free throw line to shoot a free throw, here's your goal. You want to swish it and not hit the rim. That's your goal. When you walk up to that free throw line, you want to swish it and not hit the rim. Now, when I tell her that, is she worried about, is she going to make it or not? She's not worried about making it. She's going to make it. I just want her to try to swish it. So it's a deeper level of focus and thought. And when you're in the marketplace, whether someone likes what they see or not is not the issue in any way, shape, or form. Some people are not supposed to get it. There's some people that are not allowed to be blessed. There's some people that are not supposed to get it. That's not for me, you, or anybody to decide. All we have to do, as Curry was, trying, and all of us that get this, want to really communicate this, it's a friggin' numbers game. X number of people contacted equals your reasons fulfilled. Who joins, who likes it, who doesn't like it, who thinks you're trying to convince them, whatever their thought is, does not, it has nothing to do with you. All your job is to offer the gift. That's it. And again, we've gotten so far off track in many ways because, here, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago, it was like every guru was coming out with their how to close network marketers courses. And I was talking about it back then through our blog before this podcast, that's ridiculous. It's not about closing. It has nothing to do with closing. It's about getting through the numbers to find the right people at the right time in their life. And if it's not the right time, the last thing you want is for them to join your business, especially if they join just because they know you, like you, and trust you. You're looking for people that are ready to do something significant and ready, they're career frustrated and ready to break out. That's who you're looking for. So you can go into the market very value focused and stay there no matter what kind of reaction you get to your gift. You stay in a value focused mentality. That's the goal. That's where you can get to. So I don't like this color on my shirt. I don't like this color. It draws my skin out. It makes my skin look bad. See, you aren't going to get those. You'll get those kind of responses theoretically, in network marketing, but to take that and to attach any emotion to it it's not healthy. When somebody calls me and says, Dale, I am so fired up. This is the best thing I've ever seen. You know what? I don't attach any emotion to that at all. None. I don't attach any emotion to the outcome. None. I don't attach any emotion to anybody until I know, can they fall and get back up? Because most can't. Can they fall and get back up? That's before I get emotionally attached to anybody. I need to know that they can fall and get back up, because most can't. And again, that's a whole nother training. But of course there's financial opportunity for you. Of course there is. But is that something you should feel guilty about or you should be focused on? No, because your long-term income is in direct proportion to the value you provide to the market that you serve. But who really wins? Who really wins when they become a six-figure earner on your team? I mean, think about that. You know, your belief that you can help must be stronger. Help those people must be stronger than your thoughts about what somebody else is thinking. Are you offending them? Do they think that you think they're broke because you're offering them an opportunity, or whatever other convoluted thoughts you allow to go through your brain, as I did when I started? Everybody does. But you have to get through that and get through and fix your brain as quick as you can. You know, when I look at all the people sincerely that have passed through my life in the last 40 years on, saying that they want to take this entrepreneurial team building journey, and then they never took responsibility for their own self-education, and I did everything that I possibly could to help them and to help them get control of their self-talk and get their mindsets right. And then, as soon as I tell them, this is not about closing, this is about finding the right people at the right time in their life. And then, a whole group of gurus are introducing their closing courses and so on and so forth. It's just been a nonstop battle. It really has. And the truth is that if you want to look at the people that have come through my life and have not progressed, who have failed, and people that I just maybe talked to on the phone once or twice and gave them positive direction and threw the ball to them, and they never threw the ball back. They got misdirected and went down 17 other paths looking for the foo-foo dust, looking to find an opportunity where they could create wealth without expanding their comfort zone. If you look at it from a broad perspective, it's like, I cannot believe how many times, if I want to take it personal, that I have failed. I mean, it's not even, it's 99 to 1 if you want to really look at the ratios. But then I have to stop and say, you know what? But I've also had more of a positive impact on so many people than most people ever will have the opportunity to have that type of impact in somebody else's life. And the ripple effect that's come from that, has it been worth it? Absolutely. but not if I didn't get my brain fixed. And you've got to get your brain fixed if you expect to really achieve your full upside potential in this profession. Every day you get up and you're either focused on the reasons you're doing it or the work, the challenges. You know, one of my favorite quotes, Calvin Coolidge, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press On," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. I love that. You know, I've said 10,000 times, consistent effort doesn't always produce consistent results, but it always produces success. You have to be consistent. You know, I heard it said one time, Thomas Jefferson said, I haven't failed, you know, in his developing of the light bulb and the filter in the light bulb. He said, I've just discovered 10,000 ways that it won't work when he was trying to develop the light bulb. And someone said, I don't know where I got this quote, but it's, you know, I never see failure as failure, only as a chance to refine my skills. You know, the bottom line is if average people with average intelligence have done it, then you can do it. Formal education will make you a living, but if you become self-educated with the proper mindsets and skill sets, then you can expect success with this business model if you're willing to do the work, go through the people. And if you're not, then you shouldn't expect success. You know, but what I love about this is you don't have to be able to dunk a basketball like Michael Jordan to make millions of dollars with the network marketing business model. It's a chance for the average person with above average desire to create wealth. You know, you can talk about getting down to where the rubber hits the road, and we can talk about that. And, you know, I've used that phrase many times. We're going to get down to where the rubber meets the road. But this is what we're talking about today is closer to the road than you will ever be when it talks about getting down to where the rubber meets the road. You know, people, I understand, they don't want to be talking about their mindsets. They want to know about the magic funnel. They want to know about the ad they can put on Craigslist that has their phone ringing off the hook and everybody wanting to join. You know, they're constantly looking for that new lead generation system that's going to have people calling them every day, demanding to join them at the diamond level. I mean, that's really kind of where people live. What is the foo-foo dust? What's the magic bullet? And there is not one. And when I start talking about this kind of stuff, or Curry or anybody else, you know who really has the most problem really, really grasping this? Number one, it's the 3%ers in network marketing who joined this business. They had transferable skills and were able to create success quickly. They have a real problem understanding what we're even trying to communicate. Number two is successful traditional business owners and entrepreneurs in other business models, people that have had success in other areas of life. As I've said many times, network marketing is the most challenging business model in the world because your real product is people, and people are fickle. And, you know, when you take people that have for years had success focusing on products and services, and they don't understand that the real product in network marketing is a well-trained, active, working, producing distributor that is moving their life and their business forward every month. When they really don't get that's really the product, that the real product is people, traditional business owners can have real challenges with this business model. They think they're entitled to success here because they've had success other places. And that's not the way this business model works. So what I'm really saying is, 27%ers, honestly, you have an advantage. You have an advantage. If you have fear in network marketing, you have an advantage over people that enter this business with transferable skills or business backgrounds and so on and so forth that I've just talked about, because you'll know what it is when you get through that and break through those fears and you have your breakout, and you'll be able to help a lot of other people that are feeling the same way that you feel. And people that have never felt that way really don't, they think they understand, but they really don't. So if you want to prove your true upside potential in network marketing, now's the time to fix your brain, as Curry said. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now is the time. Now's the time. Don't end up being one of these network marketers that have been hanging out in the social club 10, 12, 14 years, just hanging out, and have never progressed forward and never developed the right skill sets, mindsets, prospecting activities to the point where they can recruit those 3 to 5 people a month. Don't you dare become one of those people. You got to break out, and now's the time to fix your brain. And you have a tremendous opportunity to do that. Those of you that are part of our Programming Your Mind for Success program, you know what you do the first 15 minutes of every day. That's the foundation of everything. But we're going to give you some other activities that are going to make a huge impact for you other than just that first 15 minutes. Of course, listen, all normal people have built in their DNA, fight, flight, fear. It's built into our DNA. But that can be retracked, and it can be reprogrammed to where those natural fight, flight, fear are no longer natural human reactions. It can be reprogrammed through neuroplasticity, which you've heard me talk about, those of you that are members of the Programming Your Mind for Success program. It can be reprogrammed, retracked. Those grooves in your mind that automatically, when someone says something, it makes you feel a certain way, can be changed. I want you to know that you can get up every day focused and instinctively, naturally doing the activities that move your business and your life forward every day and not waste any time, that you value the time and you're making the most and being as productive as you possibly can be every single day of your life. You can get there, and you can get there in a state where it's just natural. It's what you do. It's who you are. That's possible for every single person listening to this podcast. You just have to prove to yourself that it is possible for you to get to this place. I had to prove to myself that it was possible. And yes, we all have outside responsibilities outside of our business with family and other organizations and so on and so forth, different responsibilities. But every person listening to me can devote an hour or two a day and make up your mind during that hour or those two hours, you're going to do the activities where you can win that day. And you will win that day, not from the results, but from the fact that you did the activities. Gosh, I hope you hear that. You win from the fact that you're doing. The results don't count. The results will come. Successful people are willing to do for a short period of time what most people aren't, so they can do for the rest of their life what most people can't. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a consistent rhythm in your business for a week or even a day or 2 or 3 or a month or 6 months? Have you ever been in a consistent rhythm? A lot of times people will come, they'll get out of an event, maybe a company conference, and they come home and they're on fire. And for a week, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, they're consistent, man. They're just doing the deal. and they're not worrying about what anybody else is thinking, they're not worried about the results. They're just getting through the numbers. So if you've ever done that, even for a day or 2 or 3 or 8, you've proven to yourself, hopefully, that you can do it. It's just a matter of doing it consistently and making it where it's not a challenge, where it's just who you are. I mean, some of the biggest growth I ever had in this profession is when I was working 52 hours a week at IBM. 52 hours a week. I was working overtime, like crazy. But we had tremendous growth. Why? Because I could carve out an hour, 2, 3 a week or a day, to an hour to 3 every day, 3 or 4 days a week, to make sure that I was doing the income producing activities. I was being consistent with what I was doing. You got to rely, this is important. You got to rely on your training, the wisdom of the ages principles, until your mind is reprogrammed. And I've never said that before. But you've got to rely on your training, on the wisdom of the ages, what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Calvin Coolidge, nothing is more important than persistence, as we said earlier. You have to get to a point where you don't let the fight, flight, fear overtake you and yank you around every day, every week in your life and your business, where you control your internal self-talk and conversation. When you start feeling uncomfortable, that's a signal to you right there, to cancel and replace it with a positive, as I've talked about in many podcasts, that you cancel that. Cancel. I don't care what that person says. They're not paying my light bill. I'm sorry that they felt like I was being intrusive. I had a gift to give them. They didn't accept it. It's not on me. Next. SW4. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. SW4. And you get these programs in your mind and you talk, you speak your world into existence. You don't allow yourself to have the feelings that we all go through. At least I did when I started in this profession. You have to rely on your training until your mind is reprogrammed for success. I'll tell you why I thought about that. I'm going to go off script just a little bit, but a lot of you know my Kentucky Wildcats have had a horrific start of the season, the worst since the 1920s. They started out 1-6. They have the top recruiting class in the country, number 1, and it's been a nightmare. And, every time I'm talking to a friend or whatever, they're just, I've had to listen to it since the season started. It's like, this Calipari, he's over. And I want to be real clear too. When Kentucky hired John Calipari, I thought it was the biggest mistake that Kentucky had ever made. I didn't like him. He rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing about him that appealed to me. And until I started listening to him and really listening. And, so it's been a long process. But after the first year with John Wall and that group, it's like everybody loved Calipari. But I've paid close attention. And, people, Dale, looks like Kentucky's going to tank this year. Calipari can't coach anymore. He's peaked. Calipari's one and done, doesn't work anymore, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And it's been really tough. But I try to always look behind the curtain, listen to what he's saying, what the players are doing, look at their facial expressions on the bench. Are they getting along with each other? I look at all this. And my thoughts on the whole season was there's this one kid that is supposed to be, he's a freshman this year, BJ Boston. And they're saying he's going to be in the top 5 in the NBA draft when he came into Kentucky. He's going to be the superstar in the SEC. And, And I'm watching this kid, and he's like 18, 19-year-old young man. And I can't imagine going in, and he's just taking terrible shots and not playing good team defense, not passing the ball. He shoots it all the time, and it was just frustrating watching Calipari just let this kid do what he was doing. And Calipari has learned sometimes you have to let people fail, and you have to see, can they fall and get back up? And you could see the talent in this kid, just the raw athleticism. And he was like the straw that was going to turn the drink. And we got a lot of good players, and they were all, the star of their high school team. They were probably the star of their 5th grade team. And they've been catered to their whole life. They shot most of the shots. Their coaches in high school didn't want them to play defense because they didn't want them to get in foul trouble. And all the things, the dynamics that go into taking talented people and get them to work together cohesively as a team, it's not an easy thing to do. Most people wouldn't take on that challenge, but Calipari has, and he's done it well. And a lot of people see Calipari as this, Pittsburgh blue-collar, Italian, outspoken, conceited coach. That's kind of how I saw him before he came to Kentucky. But I've understood, and I've told people, look, this guy's a genius. He understands, and I watch what he does. The emotional intelligence that he has, and understanding that he's got to help those kids get control of their self-talk. Get control of their self-talk, work, get in the gym at night when nobody else is around, put in the work, be your own biggest fan, and put a bubble around where you all the noise, because, these kids got the, people at high school, well, he's not playing you enough. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. And parents, and it's just a huge dynamic, emotional mindsets going on in these players. And I watch what he does. And it's like everybody in Kentucky, well, Allen needs to be playing. Allen's a kid from Kentucky, great shooter, freshman. He was redshirt last year because he got hurt. And Dante Allen needs to be playing, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And so here 3 games ago, as we started the SEC, we were 1-6 prior to the SEC. And Calipari pulls Dante in, and he's just boom, 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 three-pointers. And at the end of the bench, the superstars, the high recruits, BJ and a couple of others, BJ Boston and a couple of others, they weren't playing. And then you see this kid from Kentucky, Dante Allen is from Kentucky, and comes in and just fills it up. And I'm watching all the emotions of these people. Are they pouting? Are they glad they're winning? And I know Calipari's taking it all in. But the bottom line is, I listened to him. I listened to every pregame, every postgame, and he was talking about, before the game, he said, I think BJ's going to break out today. I think he's starting to understand. He said, I think all of them are starting to understand. And he didn't say this, but you guys have heard me say this, the acronym for team, that together everyone achieves more. And he said, I think they're starting to understand that they all need each other. For them to achieve their full potential, they all need to be working together. And it was really interesting because this kid came in, and the first shot he took was terrible. Didn't even get close to the rim. Calipari put him right on the bench. And before, he tried to let him work through all that. But now he knew, and everybody else knew, that, hey, we got other people that can play. If you're not going to take good shots, if you're not going to pass the ball, play defense, you can sit right here. Just sit on the bench. And in the post game after this game, he said when I brought him on the bench, I said, look, you're going back to your program the way you played in high school. You got to rely on the training that you've gotten since you've been here. Rely on your training. I'm going to put you back in, but rely on your training, because the way you've been playing basketball, where you're taking all the shots and everything's on your shoulder and you're the superstar, is not going to get you where you want to go. This is a team game. And that's what he said after when he put him back in. Well, he ended up having a solid game, and he scored 13 points, had 4 steals. That means he's playing defense, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and the whole team had a phenomenal game. And I told Don, it's the first time this year they've looked like a team, where they're finally figured out that they just need to rely on their training. They got a Hall of Fame coach. The guy's a Hall of Famer. Rely on your training. And so that rely on your training theme is what I would tell all of you that have been involved in network marketing, because rely on wisdom of the ages, because this fear of failure, fear of rejection it's going to come for a while until you can reprogram your mind. Man, I hope you guys heard that. I hope I was able to communicate that at the level it needs to be. Because if you get that, rely on your training, rely on wisdom of the ages while you're reprogramming your mind, because you'll get to a level where you understand, like in this Kentucky example, hey, we're a team. It's not about individuals. It's about the team. And the better we all do, the better we all do. And Calipari has proven this. I mean, Anthony Davis, which is a superstar in the NBA. Even if you're not a basketball fan, you've probably heard of Anthony Davis. When he was at Kentucky, yeah, he was player of the year in Kentucky, but you know what? 3 other players on that team shot more shots than he did. He was 4th on the team in shots taken. So there's just a lot of wisdom in that, and for me, I mean, I'm one of the most disciplined people I know, but it's real easy and natural for me. It's as easy for me to get up and be focused and disciplined and working on the things that will move my life and my business forward. That's as easy to me today as fear once was. It's as natural as fight, flight, or fear once was when I started in this industry. But it's because I was able to do a lot of the stuff that we try to communicate with you guys on this podcast. So, I don't know how not to be productive every day. I don't know how. I mean, my flame's lit. It stays lit because when it starts to flicker, it's my responsibility to understand what's going on in my own mind. It's like, somebody said, everybody's sitting around waiting for somebody to come and fire them up. What if they don't show up? True motivation must come from within, and it starts with being able to control your mindset. So, this past year really has been extremely hard for me, extremely hard. Not for the reasons you think. I mean, COVID has been a blessing in a lot of ways, as we talked about when it first hit. But honestly, it's because I've really lost a lot of faith in mankind. I've had fears that like the 27 percenters are being squeezed out, and it's like, where are the 27 percenters going? It's like we've got a bunch of 85 percenters, which used to be 70 percenters. Now it's 85% of the people that have the mentality of first I don't succeed, fix the blame quick. It's always about somebody else. It's not about me taking any kind of responsibility for my actions. I've been a victim, blah, 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 that y'all have heard me talk about for years. And so it's like 85, 10%, the 3 percenters are getting larger and more, conceited. So we've got like 85, 10, 5, all this stuff going through my mind. But the bottom line is just like a loss in mankind. And that's why we came to the conclusion, look, if we're going to win, we got to take lead generation to a whole different level, because I don't know if it is 27% or what it is, but whatever it is, there's enough good people out there. We just got to get through more of them faster, quicker. That's the way we're going to win. And that's the way it's always been. And so, I've decided in 2021, my number one goal is I'm not going to watch the news. And it's real funny. Dawn and I were out Friday night. A lot of you know she's got one of the largest Hallmark ornament collectible businesses in the United States, and she's into it. She's a Christmas nerd. And anyway, the ornaments went 75% off in the store, so we went, loaded up, and they'll go 75, then they'll go 90. So she goes, every year we do this, and we just load up and storm away. And so we were out doing the Hallmark run for the year. We also buy collections. And, you know, we've bought out several Hallmark stores as well. But anyway, regardless. So we were doing our Hallmark run, and then we were going to go out and eat. And I got a message from my middle daughter, Channing. And I wish I had it in front of me, but she said, it occurred to me, Dad. And this is after I'd already talked to Don. I said, my goal next year, I'm just going to not watch the news. I just can't watch it. It's just, I'm not going to watch any news. And she said, it occurred to me, Dad, that with all the chaos that's going on, that, you know, it might be stressing you out. You might be frustrated, aggravated, blah, blah, blah. And she said, she went on, she said, you know, if it's causing you any kind of stress or lack of focus, maybe you should turn off the news for a while and just focus on enjoying every day. And, she said, you were in my mind, and I just thought I would send you this text. And it was from my middle daughter, Channing. She's a counselor, therapist. And the timing of that was just unbelievable. So, and again, I've decided I'm not going to watch the news 2021. I know that building a team full of full-time earners and APL Go can help me restore my faith in mankind. I know there's plenty of 27%ers out there. We just have to get through more numbers to find them. And, you know, with that said, no question for me, my emotional mental state, that Dawn and I desperately need a vacation. We had one planned at the end of October before Dad got sick and passed. So the last quarter, you know, after the last quarter of e-commerce explosion that we had, which we're thankful for, and then the death of her dad, you know, I've got to schedule more thinking time for me. And I sincerely schedule time just to think. And I've got to schedule more thinking time as I'm gearing up to really make a hard run for 5 years. That's my goal. And, you know, I really wanted to just spend February in Florida. That was because I need a vacation. Dawn does. I need some time to just sit on the beach on a beach chair and let the water roll up on my toes and just think. And that was my hope, that we could just go to Florida for February, spend February in Florida. But we have some other obligations and with family, but we are getting ready. We're going to go for 10 days heading to Florida. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, it's understanding your emotions. What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? You know, what do you need to operate at your highest level? And, you know, I've just decided I'm going to have the best day I can have, controlling what I can control every day. You know, I'm not going to be watching the news. I just can't do it. I believe with everything within me, and I sure hope I'm wrong, but I believe the USA is definitely headed towards a civil war. I think it's inevitable. I just don't know if it's going to be next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years. But it's something I certainly can't predict. And my hope is that it's not true. But if that is the direction, I'm just hoping the rapture happens before everything gets too crazy. But regardless, I'm going to be as productive and enjoy myself to the fullest every day, which I do a pretty good job at, in general, and have for years. But, you know, try to have a real positive impact and the people in my world and be as encouraging as I can, yet I also want to be rubber hits the road authentic and truthful with those people. And, if you're really ready to take your business to a new level in 2021, then you have to ask yourself, are you ready to stop letting fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what somebody thinks? Are you ready to stop letting that jack you around every week? Are you ready to fix your mind, get to a new level and to really break out? I mean, and if you stop and think about it, how would your life change? How would your business change if you could get up every single day and work your business and you don't have to worry about, you can just focus on your business and not have to deal with fear of what other people are thinking? What if you were getting up every day and automatically doing the activities that move your life and your business forward? And it wasn't a chore or a challenge. It was just what you do and how you operate every day. How would that change your life? If you could work your business with no fear, it'd make all the difference in the world. And again, I'm one of the most disciplined people I know. But again, it's as easy and natural for me today to get in that rhythm as it was for me to find myself in a state of fear when I first started in this profession. So the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, which many of you have already taken. And you should feel good about yourself. I mean, you're listening to this podcast while others that call themselves entrepreneurs are playing video games or watching cat videos right now. And true freedom can only come when you have that type of discipline. And discipline seems like it's a cuss word, but discipline is cool when it's just natural in who you are. It takes no effort if it's who you are naturally. So I'm going to end this training. Now, I hope I've given you some things to think about. But if you I just want to take a minute, and I really want to end this by specifically, communicating with our APL Go team that we have around the world. And honestly, what I'm getting ready to share with you guys is another for everybody else. It's another in a long list of reasons, and maybe the most important reason that those of you that are on the fence about joining us, why you absolutely should. And it has nothing to do with the fact that, it's 8-year-old proven booming European company that's launching in North America. So it's like we have the crystal ball that it's 63% payout, higher than anybody else, or any of the other reasons. The fact that our team is getting ready to take lead generation to an entirely different level that we're going to be duplicating throughout our team, and all the other reasons that in my mind should be obvious. Like if you're on the fence, get off it. Let's go. Let's run. But if you're on our team, you've probably heard about the 90-day run events that are happening right now. And if not, you can find out the details in our private team Facebook group, the 90-day run events. But a group of people are meeting on Zoom every evening at 7 o'clock Eastern. And all they're doing is for 1 hour, they're just doing, they call it social media outreach. That's what they're doing. They're doing the activities. And if you really want to do this business and you're not in a consistent rhythm and you're not enrolling 5 people a month right now, you should be participating. You should absolutely be participating in this program. Or even if you're in a consistent rhythm and you want to stay in it. There was a time in my career when I would have given anything if I could have had this type of opportunity where I could plug in with a group of people that were trying to develop the proper skill sets and mindsets to do the business. Because as many of you know, my sponsor quit 2 weeks after I joined. I didn't know who my upline was. If it wasn't for cassette tapes, I would have never made it. But I don't know specifically what they're teaching, but I do know it's doing social media outreach. And if you're on our personal team, you know how to stack the odds for success in your favor. I mean, you know how to do outreach with LinkedIn or Facebook and correctly use MLM gateway data, that database. And if you didn't attend those trainings live that we did, we have the videos, the trainings in our Facebook group for you. And I will say this though, and this is important too. This is real important. If you've been in the business for 90 days and you haven't done at least 40 letters, the $5 letters, the intro letters that we do, 10 a week, and followed up, and if you haven't contacted everybody on your cell phone, you are 100% missing the foundation to build this business on. And I know some of you are going to be listening to this 3 or 4 or 5 years from now. And I just need to say this because this is really important. If you're part of us, $45 letters, everybody on your cell phone, 90 days. If that hasn't happened, then you don't have the foundation on which to build upon. And again, the results don't count of those activities. It's just the activities matter. The results don't. And if you did not hear our personal January 4th webinar, which was last Monday, listen to that. Get your hands on it. It'll be in our team training website. It'll be somewhere, but you need to hear that. You need to listen to that and understand you have to have the foundation on which to build upon. So I needed to say that before I get too much into social media outreach. But if you have, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to take your brain to a new level until the new programming is developed. This is the perfect opportunity. They're giving away gifts and prizes every week. They're gamifying it to making a contest out of it every week. I know Dawn, I think yesterday, sent a whole box of prizes, CDs, and their grand prize. I said, Curry, you need to have Tina and Kelly offer to have dinner with them, whoever wins it at the end of 90 days at the conference, the kickoff in March. And he said, I'll call him right now. And he did. And I think that's part of it. And I'm giving away a complete, the 18 months of the training club, in the library box as part of the grand prize. So, I mean, they're really doing some good things. It's great. And there's some of you I know right now, you're at a crossroads. You really are. I mean, you got to get your brain fixed. And this is one of the most unbelievable opportunities you will ever have. And this can be the start of a breakout that could lead to financial independence. And you think I'm just blowing smoke? I'm not. Because this is the most important paradigm shift, the most important hurdle that network marketers must get through. So the game plan is I would participate in the 90-day run that's happening right now. In the notes section of this podcast, I'm going to give you a list of 7 podcasts that we've done in the past, either here or over at No Fluff, that will support you as you're working towards developing those new mindsets and doing the outreach and getting through your fear. So I'm going to give you a list in the show notes here of 7 different podcasts. And what I would do is I would commit. I'm going to do this for a week. I'm going to log on 7:00 on the Zoom for 7 days in a row. And for 7 days in a row, one a day, I'm going to listen to the podcast that Dale recommends. Every day I'll listen to a new one. He's going to give us 7. And every night I'm going to log in and I'm going to participate in that outreach. And I'm going to get over this hump. I'm going to fix my brain. I believe that some of you will come out of the other end of this 90-day run with a mindset that most people in network marketing never develop. If you do this for 90 days, say, well, Dale, I can't do it for 90. But if you can do it consistently for 90 days, and you have the ability to offer the APL Go opportunity, offer the gift consistently to enough people, it guarantees you win. And you can win with no emotions attached if they don't accept the gift. But if you go on and you outreach and you do it consistently for 90 days, it's going to make a change. It's going to make a change. And this is the biggest hurdle. Now, I'm going to go on and just tell you what the next biggest hurdle is, and you aren't going to like it, but it's the truth. See, if you don't get through this hurdle, then you never get where you want to go. You just won't. It's impossible, especially in today's environment and the numbers that we have to get through. And if you don't get past these fears, it's just not going to happen. But once you do get past those, the next hurdle, and this is the biggest hurdle, but another one is you have to realize that the only reason to sponsor somebody is to let them eliminate themselves as soon as possible. Let them not throw the ball back. But getting through this fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what somebody else is thinking, and doing consistent outreach, consistent lead generation is the most important hurdle in a network marketer's career. It is. Not jumping it is not an option. If you don't jump this hurdle, you're doomed to the social club for the rest of your network marketing career. You just are. So my question is, are you going to take advantage of this unbelievable opportunity and get involved in this 90-day run group? Are you going to do that? All the information's on our private Facebook page. A more important question is, if you're not, why not? Why not? And so, well, I can't commit being on that every day for the next 90 days. They're doing it 7 days a week. Blah, blah, blah. Look, be on it 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 6. Do it when you can. Those that make money don't make excuses, and those that make excuses don't make money. And the reality is the start stops most people. So my question to you is, do you have the guts to start? That's my challenge. Do you have the guts to start, to get on there? I'm going to start this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to conquer this. Are you going to make excuses? It's up to you. I'm going to give you the 7 podcast, every night, 7:00. And I hope that you hear what I've been trying to communicate to the very best of my ability. What Curry just told you like it was, where the rubber hit the road. And see, I understand that, but see, you can hear that and you can agree with it. We all know X number of people contacted equals reasons fulfilled. It's called the law of averages, and the law works for everybody, not just some people. Everybody has a number. But see, understanding that intellectually and dealing with it emotionally when you have to deal with fear of rejection is 2 different things. So what do you have to do? You have to overcome fear of rejection. How do you do that? Through reprogramming your mind. How do you do that? Creating new tracks in your brain. How do you do that? Consistently doing what you know will take you where you want to go. And now you've got the support structure in place to help you do that for the next 90 days. Listen, I look forward to some of you down the road saying, Dale, on that January 10th podcast, when you challenged us to fix our minds and take advantage of the 90-day run sessions, I decided to take the challenge. And this is how that decision changed my life and my business. That's my hope. For some of you, this is D-Day. It's decision time. It's decision time. This is Dale Calvert. Thank you for being with us. If you haven't visited MLMsuccess.com lately, we've had several new blog posts and some more information over there, so go check it out when you get a chance. And I will talk with you next week on another session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.